it was just as fabulous as I think it was more fabulous than I imagined it would be. It was more. It was way more fabulous than I thought it would be. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Colleen Moore, and this is Cmoore-Books. As you saw from the thumbnail and the title of today's video, it is time for my May wrap-up. I can't believe it's time for another wrap-up. It's kind of crazy that the month of May is already over, and we're into June. It's June 4th as I'm filming this, and yeah, but I'm excited to talk about the 15 books that I read in the month of May. I had a great reading month, and I'm excited to talk about it. I'm going to share a few reading stats to get us going. So let's get into it. Oh, let me flip this to May. If you haven't seen one of my wrap-ups before, I love me some stats, and I love the stats that Storygraph gives me. They're the best. So as I said, I read 15 books, total of 5,525 pages. Some of the moods of my books were reflective, emotional, adventurous were the top three. And then the bottom three were inspiring, informative, and challenging. I read apparently no slow-paced books this month, but the majority were medium-paced books. And then a little bit of fast-paced. I had 7% were over 500 pages. So that was one book. That was Babel. Nope, that was not Babel. What book was that? Oh, it was Echo. Good grief. I just finished Babel in June. Good grief. I do know what I read when. 5 were under 300 pages, and then the other 9 were between 300 and 499 pages. 4 were nonfiction, and then 9 were fiction. Young adult is leading the pack with 4, 3 middle grade, 2 thrillers, 2 self-help, 2 science fiction, 2 romance, 2 mystery, 2 memoirs. Right, that graphic novel was a memoir. Okay, yeah. So overall, great reading month. 10 of the books I read via audio. As you can tell, I am a big audio fan. And then the other 5 were in print. 11 5-star ratings, 1 4-star, 1 3-star, 1 1-star, and 1 I gave no rating, which I will explain. And then obviously my pages were all over the place this entire month. So yeah. But let us get right on in. That was a sneak peek to the no rating. To the PowerPoint. So the first book I read was Echo by Pam Munoz Ryan. This is a middle grade book. I gave this 5 stars. This was absolutely beautiful. It is a beautiful book, like how it is styled. I listened to the audiobook. It had 3 wonderful narrators. And it was it started out with one person, and then it was all these characters connected through this harmonica that started from this fairy tale. And so you're trying to see how everyone is connected and how did this person get the harmonica and what's really happening. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but I highly recommend it. It is one that I will read over and over again. I've read a number of books by Pam Munoz Ryan, and I have not been disappointed. This one brought me to tears at many points. Oh, just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then I read Tiny T-Rex and the Grand Tada by Jonathan Stutzman. This is the fourth book in this little series. Um, it was so adorable. 5 stars. So Tiny and his best friend, they decide to put on a little magic act for their school talent show. Um, it's just so cute. I love Tiny and his friend, whose name I can't remember right now. Um, but it's just a fun little adorable world with these fun characters, and it's definitely one that I think that kids will enjoy. So this was my 1 star, Anne, a West Philly by Ivy Noel What Air. I read another one of hers. So this is a Anne of Green Gables retelling. I read her oh good grief. Mm, Secret Garden retelling in April. I gave that one 4 stars from what I remember. It might have been 5, but I'm pretty sure it's 4. And I really enjoyed that one. Um, this one just felt over the top, and it didn't feel like a retelling at all. Like it just felt like a regurgitation, but a weird regurgitation. Like the characters felt like weird like caricatures of the actual characters. Like everyone had this literally the same names. Like nothing was unique. Like it was set in modern times. Um and the author, like everything was literally like setting it up so like um and Anne is supposed to be someone that is very passionate about literature and writing. And then in this one, she's all about like computer science and technology, and that just felt like such departure from Anne. Um, which I'm all about like trying to recreate it, but like it just didn't feel like Anne at all. And then and I am all for representation. Uh it's just I wish like it had come sooner, because it felt like it had just gotten slipped in at the end. So it didn't really feel like it had happened at all. Um, so I wasn't sure why it got like if you're going to include it, like actually include it like in the graphic novel. So like in the original Anne of Green Gables, Anne and Gilbert, like that's the couple like you're rooting for. Um, and here apparently Anne has a crush on her best friend whose name is her name is escaping me right now. And apparently when Gilbert finally professes his feelings, like at the end of the graphic novel, she's like, actually, I really like my best friend, whose name I can't remember. She's right there in the purple. Um, and like, that's fine, like, no problems with like that happening. It just happened like 5 pages before like 5 panels before the end. And like we never got to see anything happen with them. And like there was no indication of how Anne was feeling like the rest of the graphic novel. And like no like budding like feelings between them at all. And I was like, when did their relationship start? Um, like I felt like it came out of nowhere. It was just very confusing, like for me. Um, and like it has nothing like um it's like setting up a relationship between two people, like, and it's like, wait, when did we talk about them getting together? It's like, wait, we didn't. So like it just completely came out of left field. And so I was like, and I was like, wait, like, well, like, why are we having this happen? Like, if we didn't even talk about it. So like, I wish that like if she was gonna have them get together, like have them get together, like include it in the entire like graphic novel, like um because we didn't get any of that at all. Um and Anne was honestly obnoxious. She was really obnoxious and whiny, which is not how I feel about Anne at all in any of the adaptations or reading from like the OG. Um, like yeah, it was just disappointing all around. Yeah, so I was just like disappointed the author that like if you're gonna change like who Anne ends up with, like I want to see a development of her with like her relationship with like her best friend. Like if you're gonna change it up, like I want to see that happen. Like, don't just have it happen off page and then suddenly throw it in at the end and then it not actually even happen. Like, just her telling Gilbert, and then that really be it. Like, that's not even them getting together. So, yeah, it was just obnoxious to me. Then for my workbook club, I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I gave it 3 stars. Like, it was a really cool concept. Like parallel worlds and like how our choices um oh, it's like Schrodinger's like theory, like parallel or whatever, like parallel universes, like each choice creates another world. So like I found the idea and the concept really fascinating. But I found the writing really terrible. Which is why I gave it 3 stars. Really cool concept. Crappy writing. Um, yeah. If the writing had been better, I would have given it more stars. Um, so I listened to this via audio. So I just kept speeding up the audio to get through it faster because the writing was just really bad for me. And that's why I really finished it was because of my workbook club. And so I was like, and we're going to 2, and then we're doing 2.2, 2.5. And I think at one point I was like 3. I think I went over 3 at one point. So yeah, 3 stars. And then I did a reread of Book Scavenger by Jennifer Chambliss Burtman for the Tween Book Club that I run at my local library. Um, I love this book and this series. Um, so there is this publisher. He's considered like the Willy Wonka of publishing. So he creates like all these crazy games and things and puzzles to help get kids excited about reading. And he's done like live like events with like Quidditch and different things like that. And so it's like really fun. Um and then so this girl, our main character, she moves to San Francisco, which is where the publisher, like his publishing house is located. And the day he's set to announce his next game, um he gets shot and mugged in a BART station. And the BART is what their like their transit system is called. So like in Boston it's the T, in New York it's the subway. In England it's the tube. Um so yeah, so in San Francisco it's the BART station. It's the BART. Um and so Emily, our main character, she ends up going into that BART station with her friend, and they find Mr. Griswold's book which leads them to find the clues to start the game. That's what you're trying to figure out. The game. They might not have bad guys following them too, because they're trying to figure out the clues and get the prize before anyone else can. And then I read Fortress of Snow, a Daracot Tale. This is the fourth book in the Daracot Tales. Apparently there's only going to be 5, which I'm a little disappointed by. It's okay. It's by Melanie Dickerson. This was a Snow Queen retelling, and I loved it. It was so good. This is a Christian fairy tale retelling, and I love Melanie Dickerson's writing, and Jude Mason is the audiobook narrator for this series and the series that comes before this one, which is the Hagenheim series. Love them all. Own all of them physically, and I own all the audiobooks. Yes, I am obsessed, and I'm not afraid to admit it. So, yeah. Then I reread The Last Flight by Julie Clark. I got the adult book club at my library to read this. Everyone loved it. Everyone was hooked. So 2 women, they meet up at an airport, and they decide to switch airplane tickets. Our one character, she is the wife of this famous philanthropist, Rory Cook, and he is very abusive towards her. And on that day, she was planning to leave him, and she had this whole plan set up, and then things got derailed, and then this woman comes to her and like sort of like tries to convince her, like, hey, like, let's switch tickets. And her name is Eva, and I can't think of Rory's wife's name right now. It'll come to me. But they switch tickets, and so Eva goes to Costa Rica, which is where Rory's wife was supposed to go, and then Rory's wife goes to California, where UCLA, yeah, that sounds like the right campus. That's where Eva's from. Touches down there, and suddenly the plane that Rory's wife was supposed to be on, that crashed off the coast of Florida. And like everyone on the plane died. And so the book is told through like present day of Rory's wife, whose name, oh my gosh, this is gonna bother me. Why can't I think of her name? Why can't I think of her name? Last Flight. The second I see it, I'm gonna be like, duh. Claire. It's Claire. Duh. Yeah, Claire, when she touches down out there, sees that, and she is just in shock. So we see like Claire from the present, and then we keep getting Eva's story from the past, like this many months before the crash, this many months before the crash. And so sort of how like the stories are combining, and it is a great thriller. Highly recommend. Julie Clark has some another great thriller that I've read. The Last Thing I Told You. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Let me make sure. The Lies I Tell. Boy, was I off. But this is what it looks like. The Lies I Tell. And then I read The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I just didn't quite have a 5-star feel for it. I gelled with so many things that were in this book. Matt wrote this for all those that are in the midst of depression and dealing with that. He himself has suffered from depression. Um, I am suffering with it, and there were some things that hit me hard and others that just didn't quite hit. Um, but yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. Highly recommend. Um, then I read Youngbloods by Scott Westerfeld. This was the fourth and final book in the Imposter series. It was the incredible end to the series. I highly recommend it. Um, Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So like the Imposter series is a companion series to the Ugly series. So I would highly recommend reading the Ugly series before you get to the Imposters. Otherwise, you're going to be completely spoiled for the Ugly series. But they're all great, wonderful novels. So In Limbo by Deb J.J. Lee this is a graphic novel, what's gonna call it? Memoir. No, I don't give memoirs like ratings, but like the stars, my 5 stars is really for the drawing and like the presentation of the memoir, and just the author's struggle, like how she put everything together. It was absolutely beautifully done. Um, just her struggles with her family, and is definitely a powerful read. Highly recommend. So this next one was so much fun. The Handmoji Handbook, Your Guide to the Chinese Language Through Emoji by Jason Lee, Ong Zhao Mina, and Jennifer 8 Lee. So glad I picked this up at my local library. 5 stars all the way. It was like how like emojis were developed. Like how they were developed from the Chinese language. It was so fascinating. And talked about the development of the Chinese language, like its development, how there's the simplified and like the romanized version of the Chinese language. Um, yeah, I've tried learning Chinese. It is a very difficult language. Oh my goodness. Because it's very much tone based. Um, it is rough. Um, I might start again. I have Duolingo Plus, and I can make as many errors as I want. Uh, but yesterday, you watch my vlog, which I think that'll be up before this is. I went to my church's temple. I serve there twice a week, and one of the women that was performing an order, she is from China, and she's living in the DC area, and she speaks English very well, but she likes to have the ordinance written out in uh simplified Chinese. And so we have the card written out in simplified Chinese, and then one of the other temple workers, uh while performing that ordinance, she speaks Chinese. And so uh she is of Chinese descent as well. And so not everyone that helped to form this ordinance were Chinese speakers. So only that one sister was able to read certain parts of the ordinance in Chinese. But it was wonderful for that sister to be able to read it when she was hearing it in English, and then also to read it when that one sister was speaking Chinese as well. So yeah. But one day, maybe I will learn Chinese. But it's rough. It's hard. Then I read The Captive Kingdom by Jennifer Nielsen. This is the fourth book in the series, the False Prince series, or I think it's called the Ascendant series, actually. My goodness, so many things happened. Like this just like blew my mind. Highly recommend this series. The audiobooks are great. I can't think of the audiobook narrator's name right now. Um, I think it's like Wade something, or that might be his last name. But the audiobook narrator is so funny. Just such a great job. Um, yeah. But it's about this, like the first one is called The False Prince, and so like the royal family is all killed. And then this one regent decides that he's gonna put a false prince on the throne. And little does he know, actually. And apparently, like the younger prince earlier on had been killed by pirates. But little does he know that younger son is actually alive and is one of. Wait, I think I just spoiled something. Never mind. Forget everything I just said. It's really great. Oh my gosh. He's trying to put a false prince on the throne. Um, The Cottage Fairy by Paulo Merrill. If you have not seen any of her videos, I highly recommend her channel. She just brings so much peace. Her videos fill me with so much calm. I don't remember how her channel got recommended to me, but I will be forever grateful. Um, I listened to the audiobook for this because I can't think of a better way to consume uh her book than to have her read it to me. She has this most soothing and calm voice that I have ever heard in my life. Um, yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. Just her thoughts on life and nature, and oh, it was just beautiful. Highly recommend. Um, then I read Saint by Adrienne Young. I listened to the audiobook for this one. I loved getting back into this world. Fable world. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I waited so long to get to read this. Oh my gosh. It was just as fabulous as I think it was more fabulous than I imagined it would be. It was more. It was way more fabulous than I thought it would be. If you have not read Fable and Namesake, highly recommend. Um, and then there's one more in Set in This World, The Last Legacy, that I need to read. And then I'm caught up. And apparently, uh, um, Adrian Young is also releasing a novella in September set in this world as well, from West's point of view, which after reading this, I was like, holy freaking crap. I was like, this means so much. Like revelations, like I was like, wait, origin stories. I'm getting all the origin stories. Like, yeah, totally blew my mind. Um, totally recommend. But yeah, you definitely have to read Fable and Namesake before you read Saint. For sure. It will mean so much more if you read the duology before you read the prequel. And then I read Spare by Prince Harry. Actually, I had him read it to me because I felt like that was the most appropriate way to consume this. So I did not give this one a rating. Um, I don't really feel like it's fair to give memoirs a rating. And like this one in particular, like they've had way too much judgment on their lives. Like period. Like, I'm not gonna throw my 2 cents in there at all. But all I would say that was really interesting. I appreciate getting their point of view. I would love to get the other side, like um Prince, well, now he's King Charles's point of view. I would have loved to have gotten the Queen's point of view, Prince William's point of view. Uh, and honestly, I don't think we'll ever truly know what the truth was, because like with any story, there is like this person's point of view, and then that person's, and then in the mixture of all of those stories, there's the truth, like right in the middle. So, um, yeah, but it was very interesting. But I do feel bad for all that they did go through with the press and everything. I don't think that anyone has the right to tear down another person based on their race. Um, the way that they attacked Megan was absolutely disgraceful. Um, so yeah, that is all I will say about this one, but that was the final book I read. Um, let me know down in the comments what you read in May. I would love to hear about it. But thank you so much for watching. Um, and if you'd love to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And also remember who you are and where you live, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.